We're glad to find time to be part of the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. Well, apologies who are standing behind time. Some unforeseen circumstances. As we always say, what matters the most is that we're here now and you're there to be part of our package for today on Politics Today, reaching you live on independent television and radio. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun. With me on set is a political scientist, public affairs commentator, a researcher, a lecturer from the University of Benin. I'd like to thank very specially Neville Obagedo. Neville, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me, and happy 25th anniversary to ITV Radio.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, a whole lot of interesting conversations on the program today. And as usual, our studio line will open for you to participate and be part effectively and efficiently in the next couple of minutes as we x-ray some issues on the road to the 2023 elections. Our first talking point is on the Supreme Court judgment on how political party executives should behave, should conduct themselves in terms of leadership change. You know for sure that in recent times, one major issue has been raging in the Edo State PDP. The war of words, the altercation, disagreements, reactions and counter-reactions between what some have called the old PDP and the new PDP. But today, all of that is a thing of the past if we're following the judgment of the Supreme Court recently, which held that once a party executive is elected, right from the state or national to the ward level, they must run out their tenure. So in a sense, that puts spade to any issue about harmonization. But our panelists here will help us make sense of that. Let me thank very specially Dr. Lugard Sado. Dr. Lugard Sado is also a lecturer and also a public affairs commentator. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Good morning, Edo people.
Neville, let me start off with you. Yeah. This is one thorny issue with the Edo State PDP, but it's not really restricted to Edo State PDP. This is something that happens every now and then with political parties. This judgment that was given, I think sometime this week, what does this portend for all of these, disagreements that we have seen in recent times?
First and foremost, in a democratic process, there are bound to be disagreements, compromise, conflicts, and so on. But it is the ability of the actors to be able to resolve their conflicts and disagreements within the confines of the constitution of the party, and within the confines of the electoral act, and by extension within the confines of the constitution. Now, what we have discovered in Nigeria in recent years, let me just say, starting from this Fourth Republic, is the fact that the structure of a political party have thrown up, whether at local government level, when the party structure throws up a local government chairman, it will put a machinery in motion to start creating its own structure within the party. If somebody is thrown up as a councillor of a ward, in no distant time you will see him trying to create a structure different from the structure that brought him. The same thing with the governorship, the same thing with the House of Rep and the rest of them. And the same thing, unfortunately, with the presidency. So that is the reason why people now come and be talking about harmonization and no harmonization. In the first instance, if you look at the party structure of the First Republic, Second Republic, if you cross-carpet from party A to party B, you cannot just cross-carpet today and tomorrow they will give you ticket to go and be contested from the same position that your previous party denied you. They must give you orientation and give you opportunity to prove that you are going to be loyal before they give you any elective position to vie for. But today, we have discovered that when a man is elected as governor, the man with his key cabinet members, they want to create a structure different from the structure that brought the governor to power. In that case, you now see the issue of parallel structure, the structure of the party, original structure that brought the governor, then the governor's structure. It is at that point they will now be talking about, let us harmonize. If the original structure of the party will bring the chairman, the governor party will bring the vice chairman, and the governor party may bring structure, may bring the secretary, and so on and so forth. And when it comes to the issue of appointment, it's the same thing that is happening. But I thank the justices of the Supreme Court that in their wisdom and in their reasoning, they have discovered that that is one of the problems of the democratic process in Nigeria. And they are put pay to it, to say no to harmonization. If somebody is elected as a chairman of a party executive, let him complete his tenure. Unless the person or the ESCO, they are involved in anti-party activities, and after due process have been followed, they have been given fair hearing, that you cannot be talking of sacking the ESCO, and the constitution of each political party provides that there will be no leadership vacuum. If the party is saying in such a situation, there will not be an interim government, or the party will say, okay, there will not be an organization of another election for ESCO, so be it. The idea of, I'm not the governor, I'm not the senator, I'm not the House of Reps, I'm not the chairman, and I have the power, I have the means, the money to lobby people and make them to even vote against their wish in the name of trying to get their own fair share of the distributive largesse of government, and to say, yes, I'm part of the government in power. The judgment has rubbished that aspect now. And I know that politicians will now go back home and go to the drawing board to go and do the right thing. And that reminds me about the electoral act that we were talking about the other day. The electoral act that have been promulgated now into law. The other day, some of us at different fora threw our way behind the lawmakers that proposed that there should be direct primaries. In that case, powerful persons in the party will not be able to hijack it, because when it is transparent and open, it's for you or the other candidates to go and do their campaign. They do their campaign to party members, they will not come and vote out of fear and out of fear of intimidation and fear of being attacked. So we believe that the judiciary, as part of the political system and part of the political process, is tried just now by this judgment to try to consolidate democracy. And we believe that the actors will conform themselves with the provisions of this judgment.
All right, Dr. Lugard, yeah, you want to ventilate your views along these lines, or you have contrary perspectives on this judgment by Federal High Court in Abuja, who made determination on the case involving Baba Sheriff and the PDP?
Well, first of all, I want to align myself with the last speaker on the issues that he discussed, and to say that what has just played out in Nigeria by the outcome of the judgment of the Supreme Court is a welcome development. Welcome in the sense that we, as a people, we don't seem to be serious in what we do. I use that very deliberately to indicate the fact that politicians take us for a ride in this country, and political parties, in their quest for power, mortgage even their ideologies and manifestos, and just bring in any person just to ensure that they continue to remain in power or they seize power from the opposition. And that in itself, it's a very clear indication that the judiciary has come to stay. Now, I think that the PDP case is not different from what is happening in APC. It is still this quest and the struggle for power, and if you like, the control of state resources. Unfortunately, at the federal level, the PDP is not in charge. We do know, but there's hope that 2023 could deliver their expectations to us. So, who sits on the wheel? I mean, who sits behind the wheel is what is quite important here as far as the PDP issue is concerned in Nigeria. So, if you ask me, Ahmadu Sharif and what's this other guy's name now in PDP are clear indications that they need they need power, basically, and they want to maintain the structure of the political party and ensure that they remain relevant towards the 2023 general elections. Having said that, I think that the point of call here should be, as I have said it, as I have mentioned in one of the forum that we had, that the PDP at this time should put their house in order and avoid the contentions that are not necessary. And, you know, while the law court may be there to give certain clarifications and judgment that will put their differences in, to rest, I think that sitting back, going back to the drawing board and discussing the issues that divide them are quite important and fundamental in driving, if you like, the aspirations of the PDP and, of course, of Nigerians. I say this with every sense of responsibility because, as it stands, the APC is interested in 2023 election and they are galvanizing themselves towards that. I am not putting in my money for any of the political parties. I just want a strong opposition. And at the moment, it appears that the PDP could form a formidable opposition. But if the House is divided, if the actors continue to fight themselves and continue to contend amongst themselves, of course, you can be certain that it will be difficult for a strong opposition to emerge in 2023. So having said that, I think that there is really no problem. What has happened so far is not a new thing. It's a normal thing that, you know, a normal political manifestation. And we hope that in the process of time, all of these will resolve themselves and Nigerians will have options to select from. Okay,
just to add to the comments made by a very respected guest here, Dr. Luga Sado, it was the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja that determined that particular case involving Baba Sharif and the PDP. And the court held that a political party cannot go against its own constitution. And all the relief sought in the case were granted to the plaintiffs. And this means that the state, local government, and the Ward Executives Committee of the PDP in Edo State cannot be tampered with until a new Congress is held in 2024. That's the outcome of that judgment. But if someone didn't approach the court on this matter, ordinarily, if both sides, like we have now, they say you have the old PDP and you have the new PDP, let's say, for example, it's possible for both parties to have a common ground without this altercation that we're saying, and at the end of the day they agree without anybody approaching the court, would that still be illegal, Nabil?
Even though I'm not a lawyer, but maybe because of my personal experiences in my place of work and in life, I've decided to take time to buy law books, judgments of Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, to read and learn so that they can guide me in my relationship with people and guide me in my public commentaries. Let me come to Edo State. I've been trying deliberately to avoid discussing Edo State politics because I know people from both PDP and APC in this state. But for the record, for posterity, let me just make my comment. Number one, the ESCOs that are being paraded in Edo State as ESCO of PDP, they are supposed to be unknown to law. Why did I say they are supposed to be unknown to law? There was a court judgment at the High Court, Edo State High Court, sitting at Epoma, that said that the world congresses that were conducted in Edo State were nullified. That was before the governorship election. And the judgment went further to say that the judgment refrained PDP from conducting, I beg your pardon, local government congresses and state congresses, or state congress. But that judgment was never appealed against. And they proceeded and conducted local government congresses and the state congress that produced all the people that we have in PDP today. But the question you asked me is what is making me to go back to that one. The court is not a Father Christmas, and the court does not work on speculation. Even though servers of the temple of justice, like judges, magistrates, and even lawyers, they may have stumbled across that judgment. They may have read it, digested it. But the fact that no interested party has gone to court to say, court, look at this illegality that has been perpetrated by this party. whether from the opposition, whether from within the party. So such illegalities are allowed to lie low. Now let me answer you directly. The other day, the President and Commander-in-Chief, President Muhammadu Buhari, because of the crisis of APC, at that time, crisis over Oshomole being the national chairman and the rest of them. And they now said they were organizing a national working committee meeting that was attended via Zoom and the rest of them. What pains me as a Nigerian, what pains me as a political scientist, what pains me as an electorate is the fact that the president wrote a speech from home. After the contribution from the various parts of the country, the president just read the speech that he prepared from home, not on the basis of the outcome of the meeting that he had with people.
Well, what's wrong with that?
What is wrong with that is that the president had a premeditated decision, a well-orchestrated decision before coming from home. And he just came after all the deliberations and brought the speech out and read it and said all the state ESCO dissolved, national ESCO dissolved. Till date. And I'm expecting members of APC, leaders of APC, to challenge the president. Till now, they have not challenged the president to set aside that decision. Because under APC constitution, there's no room for caretaker government. So the emergence of Bala Bruni, governor of Yobe State, and now the governor of Niger State, with all the crises that are, they are unknown to law. And so when you do not challenge an illegal decision, it is allowed. So the issue of Edo State, assuming, for example, that this matter was not before court, and they were able to resolve their issue of harmonization, nobody will say anything wrong with it. And even though it is illegal, but it will still pass. So what we are trying to say here is that people should learn to do the right thing.
Okay.
No person in a party, no matter how powerful the person is, in the case of APC, for example, the most powerful person in the party is the president. No matter how powerful, cannot go against the provisions of the Constitution, because the Constitution is supreme, and all members of that political party, they are subject to the details of the Constitution, where we now allow people, persons, because of the position they occupy, and because of what we are benefiting from them as members of the political party, we now keep quiet and allow illegality to continue. This is what is taking us back in a democratic dispensation to a military era because of the action and inaction that we are seeing here and there.
Thank you very much. Doc, you want to add something to that? Because...
No, I think I made my position very clear.
Yes.
It's good to go to the law courts, and I agree with that. And I mean, I have nothing against the decision and the outcome of the judgment.
Okay.
But I'm saying that as it stands, there are certain things that we don't need interpretations for. And that's why I said we are a funny people. We know how to manipulate the laws, You see, the judgment that has just been passed is not new to the actors who just received the judgment. It's just because they are aware that certain things will go unquestioned unless you put so much sand into people's eyes. Yeah. So what has just played out in the judgment is that they have reminded them of their constitution. They've reminded them of the law. And I'm saying that, look, we can sit back without going to the court to look at the laws and understand that this is the limit of our relationship, this is what is expected, and this is what is not expected. And to that extent, we will be able to conduct our affairs and our activities as a political party and ensure that all the necessary things are done in proper ways and, of course, at the proper time. If we don't do that, we keep fighting and hitting up the polity. And hitting up the polity is not good for our system. And unfortunately, our politicians know this, and they take advantage of it. You see, the judgment has been passed now. I won't be surprised if another group decides to say they want to appeal that judgment. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer and I don't crave to be one, but I won't be surprised if there's an appeal already cooking towards that direction, or if there is a further interpretation needed on that, because politicians know how to take advantage of the people. They seem to thrive better when there's confusion and disharmony amongst the people. I mean, Nigerian politicians, without mentioning any name or any political party, that appears to be the order of the day. So if we understand that that is the pattern of behavior of our politicians, what is it that is expected of us? It is for the party members, the electorate, to begin to ask questions And you know, and just like Dr. Nevi said, some people are clapping now that the judiciary has done well, but some members of these political parties do not even have access to their constitution. They don't understand what is in their constitution, what their rights are, what the powers are, what positions that are therein in the constitution, and what are the responsibilities of the people. All that we hear the average Nigerian say is that this is what our leader has said, and we are following our leader. So we follow blindly. And so you find that sometimes that it's not even only illiterate people who follow these politicians blindly. Sometimes very educated persons, very learned persons in law, PhD and others, following a so-called political leader blindly. And you will see them putting everything on ground because this is the direction my leader is going. I am leading my own followers to go along that direction. That is what has led us into where we are. I posted something on Facebook this morning of a young man who was in a parade ground. You know, the idea was that he will march towards the officer, give a salute, and take the trophy from that officer. And he was supposed to do that in less than 30 seconds. Do you know what? That for about 30 minutes, this young man was busy, if you like, parading up and down, gets to the point where he should take the trophy, turns back again, and they were clapping for him. And I said, that's the scenario of the political experience in Nigeria. Political actors engage in so many political activities, motion without movement, and Nigerians tend to applaud them and clap for them for a job well done, perhaps because of the largesse, like he said, that we tend to get from them. But I think that the time to start questioning the existing order is now. And it's not just the courts who should help us question it. Average Nigerians should start asking questions and place a demand on our politicians to do what is right. Otherwise, we wait for them on the at the polling station during the election and decide whether or not we want them to return to power or want their parties to return to power or not.
If you just join us, you're onto Politics Today and switching you live on independent television and radio. Of course, x-raying some issues that are at the front burner in a bid up to the 2023 election. But we'll just take we'll just flip to another page of our conversations today on the program. Professor Charles Soludo, former governor of the CPN, is now a governor of, is now another governor, or he's maintained that position, this time inaugurated earlier, towards the end of this week as the governor of Anambra State. But that inauguration was actually dwarfed by a major incident that happened. Before we talk about that incident, which has to do with slapping and counter-slapping between two supposedly distinguished ladies in the state, let's look at what Soludo's government will bring to bear in that state. First off, he's patronized a very popular local brand in the automobile industry, saying that this is the way he wants to go. I was checking one of our WhatsApp groups, and someone said that was how a certain state governor accepted a Prado Jeep that was given to him as his official vehicle. But the moment security votes started showing forth, you remember that there are some BMW cars somewhere that he could use, and then he went into the frenzy of buying and buying and buying. Would that be the case of Professor Charles Soludo? I don't think so. If you look at his pedigree, look at his history, look at what he's done for himself, his profession, and what have you. But let's get our panelists to give us more on this before we look at the major incident that dwarfed that beautiful ceremony. I'm sure you're aware, Neville, that in the first instance, the man said, look, this inauguration will be low-keyed. They brought the budget for him. He jettisoned the budget and preferred a low-key ceremony. Neville.
I salute my senior colleague and my great intellectual spirit partner, Professor Chukwuma Chasoludo, the governor of Anambra State. Professor Sisi Soludo is a man of many firsts and a man of the second. He is the second former CBN governor to be elected governor in Nigeria. The first was late Dr. Clement Isong of Old Cross River State, who was one-time governor of Central Bank, before he was elected governor of Old Cross River State. Chasoludo attended University of Nigeria, Nsukka, made the first class there, made the distinction in masters, and got the best PhD result. I salute him. As a lecturer in UK, in one of the meetings that Obasanjo held with Nigeria professionals there, he saw that man as a distinguished personality and brought him to Nigeria. First as a special advisor before he made him governor of Central Bank. Now he has tried to become governor before he finally became governor now. I salute him. It is not easy to become a governor in Anambra State based on the experiences of Dr. Chinwoke Ubadnuju and the experiences of Ngige.
Chris Ngige.
Yes.
The Minister of Labour.
The experiences of Peter Obi. And so we welcome him on board. May God guide him and assist him to succeed as governor of Anambra State. Now, I listened to his broadcast and I tried to read it. And anytime I remember what he said here, I will be smiling, just as I'm smiling now. But the main thing is that his government is hinged on 3 pillars, according to him. Number 1 is Vision 2070, where he said he wants to transform the whole of Anambra State into a mega city. He also talked about the Soludo solution. Maybe Soludo solution to Central Bank, he want to not take it to Soludo solution
Anambra State.
I talk about transport and try to make sure that governors touch the news and credits of the state, talking about health. He tried to segment them into various sectoral arrangements, where he said he would do this and that. The statement that he made on that day, that he was going to ensure that slums in Anambra State, like Okpoko and some other places, he was going to make sure that there would be environmental sustainability, and he was going to rehabilitate that place. And in less than 3 hours after his inauguration, I saw the governor in that environment. It shows that it's going to work. And I saw that he said he was going to be using everything made in Anambra, unless that is not made in Anambra, it's not made in Nigeria, it's not made in Africa, before he can go and get something from outside Nigeria. I salute him. May God help him. Now, he also said the clothes that he was wearing were aquatic clothes. Aquatic clothes, that is native clothes that were weaved in Anambra State. And he was calling on all Anambra people to also patronize Anambra people. I salute him. But you know that, as we were trying to say just now, that somebody was giving a Prado G from here and so on. I don't believe that. Soludo that knows that is from the Ivory Tower. And he knows that a lot of people are looking up to, including my humble self. He cannot afford to disappoint his
constituency.
Yes, his constituency. And he cannot afford to disappoint those of us who are looking up to him. So that if he succeeds, that will encourage us to now say, okay, let us also follow into politics, and maybe we are going to succeed the way Abu Salih succeeded, the way he himself is going to succeed, as the case may be. But the problem that Soludo is going to have is not that he will not have the ideas. The problem of the party that brought him to power. I know the party has a structure. He was not a member of ABGA before. They brought him into that place. The problem Soludo is going to have is the problem that many governors are having right now, including the one that have to do with Edo State and PDP Wala. Trying to now create another structure outside of the structure that brought you. Go and study the structure. What does the structure want? Appease the structure and face governance. If you try to say, okay, the PDP chairman in our state or national chairman is not in our camp. It was not in your camp. He brought you and made you governor. Now that you are governor, it's no longer in your camp. If you try to set up a parallel structure, it will have problem in Anambra, because those who came before him should learn from them. All the way that they had in that state, you should learn from them and avoid them. And lastly, the issue of security. He said he was going to work with IPOB and ESN, which is Eastern Security Network. In one of my discussions with one of my friends, a close associate, before Soludo was elected, I said for Soludo to go and visit Nnamdi Kanu, that somebody who advised him right, because Anambra State is like a struggle in southeastern Nigeria, that want to continue to remember Ike Banunewi, which is Chief Chukwemeka Ojukwu. Now, if he says he's going to work with IPOB, he should not only work with IPOB for the security of Anambra State, because sometimes when I hear people that want to transit through Anambra State, they never get to their destination, they never return back. The other day, one of our part-time students, I'm sure the most brilliant student in our other level part-time the other day, he was going to the east for burial. He was shot and killed in Anambra. A fellow student of his from the same class was shot and injured on her foot. But we thank God that that one survived. And that is how we hear stories of how people are being killed in Anambra State. The first thing you should do in the area of security is to call a security meeting. After meeting with IPOB separately, after meeting with Eastern Security Network separately, you should now call for an elaborate meeting where he's going to now ask on them what are their demands. As a governor, he can reach the president. As a governor, he can reach the national assembly. As a governor, he can reach the federal executive council and national council of state. So that the bloodletting in Anambra State can come to an end.
Okay.
That is my...
All right. Dr. Luga, expectations from Chukwuma Soludo?
Well, I think that the expectations are high. And he also has not made it easier on himself because he has increased the benchmark and the expectation ladder. So we will expect that he will deliver on his promises. I like this idea of the Soludo solution because for him, in one of his media briefing before his swearing in, he did say that he was going to bring to bear every transformation agenda that worked for him as CBN governor. And that means that he was going to revamp the Anambra economy. He was going to make it very independent and stand alone. And that means that he talked about the idea of making Anambra the commercial hub, if you like, business center of not just Nigeria, but of Africa, by way of industrializing that state. So I think that the expectations are high. And I know that he talked about the idea of this local content, generating all his resources from the Anambra people, from Nigeria and perhaps in Africa. But I also know that he cannot achieve all of these by relying only on Anambrians or only on Nigerian materials. He will need to extend his hands to foreign investors. The FDIs, the foreign direct investments that Anambra people need, I think will be what will help Soludo to achieve his goal of creating the Soludo solution. Now, one of the challenges of insecurity in the eastern region, and of course not peculiar to the eastern region, I think in the whole of Nigeria, but let's localize it to Anambra State, is the issue of unemployment. And I think that while Soludo seeks to extend development and of course create industrialization in Anambra State, he must take creation of jobs, dealing with the issue of unemployment and indirectly solving the problem of poverty amongst his people. Because I think that if he's able to deal with the issue of poverty to a great extent, the security issues in Anambra State will be drastically reduced. I did say that he made the job easier for himself by some of the promises that he made. And his emergence as governor did not happen by chance. He had great promises, and the Anambra people are tired of, if you like, of stagnation. They have great potentials. Anambra State, if it's only Onitsha, for example, in my opinion, the largest market in Africa, although some people have argued that it's the third largest, but I still think it's the largest in Africa. At the moment, Anambra State should have a GDP that is almost that of Lagos State, but it's nowhere around it. They are still struggling. And so I think that Soludo should be able to bring to bear his professional experience as a renowned economist who has served as CBN governor of Nigeria. He should be able to revamp Anambra's economy. Now, having said that, the issue of security that we talked about is something very important. But I know that Anambra is not the only state in the southeast. The insecurity issue in Nigeria is very high in the southeastern region. And I think that what we need at the moment is that he should not look forward to only securing Anambra. He must extend hands to other state governors in the eastern region, Enugu, Ebonyi, and all the others, because if there is no peace in the surrounding states, Anambra State will definitely not have peace. So there is need for him to collaborate with existing governors, existing structures, and see how he will be able to solve the problem of insecurity. I am not hoping, I'm not expecting that he will be able to solve it 100%, but to a large extent, I think that the agitations of IPOB in particular should be looked into. Although he doesn't have the capacity to deal with it, but I think that he can serve as a bridge between the Anambra, between the Eastern people, for example, and the federal government. To that extent, he will be able to ameliorate the issues of insecurity in Anambra State. Now, having said that, the governor promised that in the next couple of minutes or hours, he was going to announce his first set of commissioners, he was going to set the board, he was going to go to work. And I was really excited at that, because if we relate that with what we had in Edo State, and even at the federal level, where it took the president 6 months, it took some state governors 6 months, 3 months to appoint commissioners, he has promised that he will go to, and I'll be following up on the news to know where he has done as he has promised. I'm not sure I have seen that. He has done that already?
He hasn't.
So I'm expecting that in the next couple of hours of this, he should really know the news and hit the ground running. Okay. Like he said, the time for Jamboree is over. It is time to go to work. And I think that the expectations are high of the people. Finally, I think that what Charles Olude needs to do, in addition to all that we have said here, is that he must understand that Nigerians need something different from what they have been offered. Nigerians are in dire need of leadership. And he should provide the leadership. It should not just be words. Words are cheap. We need actions. He has demonstrated that a bit by what he wore on the day of his inauguration. And of course, I heard that he also served traditional food and palm wine instead of the traditional continentals that should be served. All of these are pointers to the fact that, yes, he means his words, but we hope that he should be able to sustain it, not just for one day, but for the next 4 years that he will be in office.
Did he have to wait till becoming governor to advance all of these things? Wearing traditional clothes,
exactly,
utilizing local brands and what have you. Because I'm watching a video a few minutes back, we're just playing. I saw the locally made Jeep, and I also saw a foreign-made Jeep side by side. I should have expected that. Perhaps that's what he drove in there with, and just the opportunity to unveil the...
Now, well, since it has to do with the inauguration, he was trying to make a statement that his position as governor should not in any way deter the...
We should just make it the SA media, Anambra State.
Not exactly, not exactly. My point here is that he should give us leadership. Yeah. I mean, when I said say us now, I mean the Anambra people. Yeah. He should provide leadership for us so that we will know the direction that he is going, and then the Anambrians will follow.
Okay, now let's just quickly, before we open our studio line, the major issue that dwarfed this inauguration was a slapping match between the wife of former Odumego Ojukwu, Bianca Ojukwu, and then of course the governor's wife, Her Excellency Ebelechukwu Obiano. From what we gathered, I'm sure you see a bit of that now, Kepsi Vanguard. The wife of the governor, who was on the verge of handing over the matter of leadership to Charles Olude, came a bit late after the event had started. A few minutes later after she came, she got up from her seat and went to meet Bianca Ojukwu where she was seated. And then there was hot argument. In the process, slaps started falling on one another. As a matter of fact, the first story that came out was that it was Obiano's wife that slapped Bianca. And then somewhere along the line, the story now came out that it was Bianca who slapped Obiano's wife. Well, whoever slapped first is immaterial. What matters the most is that there was a flurry of slaps between both parties. But isn't this acrimony taken too far, Neville?
You see that human beings are very difficult to control, especially when they are already matured and they have formed certain opinion about the way they should relate with people. Let me come to the issue of Bianca. I think it was 1988 that Bianca was elected the Miss Nigeria, and later Miss Africa, later Miss Intercontinental. And I know that it was the second civilian governor of Old Anambra State, Dr. Sisi Onu, that is the father of that girl, or that lady, before she finally married Ojukwu. Later, she was made ambassador to whether Angola, later ambassador to Spain. So she can be referred to as Her Excellency. That is to say, she has been the representative of Nigerian state and government in 2 different countries as an ambassador. And she's supposed to know what is called diplomacy and tactfulness when people try to provoke you. And from the interview that she granted to Arise Television, she made a statement about how that first lady, former first lady, Mrs. Obiano, has been antagonizing her, antagonizing several other persons, commissioners, slapping them, all the things that she said the woman be involved in. And that day was like payback time for her because of the way she was treated during the campaign. Personally, she said she was not going to follow them to do the campaign for the election. And people were getting information from her to the first lady then that this Ojuku's wife even said she's not coming for the inauguration. So Obiano's wife got there and discovered that she was sitting down. And with the mind that she was expecting Mrs. Ojuku to come and greet her, and she did not. I know she just felt that as first lady, outgoing first lady, let me show this woman and see somebody before I leave office. I didn't know that she was going to engage herself in a show of shame with Bianca Ojuku. Now, my take on this is that it was an embarrassment to Anambra State. It was an embarrassment to the government of Soludo. It was an embarrassment to the outgoing governor. It was an embarrassment to the Nigerian state. And I expect the government of Soludo to properly sanction them so that other persons, powerful persons, women or men in position of authority now, who feel that because of the security that we provided around them and because of the state resources they have access to, they can misbehave in the secret and also misbehave in the public to bring shame to.
All right, Dr. Luka, Obiano's wife leaving her seat to go and meet Bianca, don't you think that was taken too far?
Yeah, I think that she invaded the privacy of Bianca. I think that she acted in a manner that was undesirable of her position. And I think that she perhaps provoked Ojuku's wife to have led to that, if you like, physical aggression that she got from her. But having said that, I need to state here that, just like Neville said here, it was a show of shame. And I'm really surprised, really surprised that Nigerian women have not come out, especially at a time and era where we have been agitating for 30 or 35% of women representation.
Affirmative action.
Yes, affirmative action, women representation in Nigeria. 2 powerful women in their own rights decided to put up a show of shame. And I thought that by this time, Nigerian women all over the nation should have been calling out these women, asking them to tender a reserve apology or sanctioning them or telling Nigerian women not to consider them for any elective positions in the future. That, in a way, will serve as a deterrent to them. Having said that, it's important to note here that 2 wrongs can never make a right. Never. And you know, just like Dr. Nevi said here, I expected that no matter the provocation from the outgoing governor's wife, former ambassador to Angola and to Spain should have known better. And just like a skit joke said, a skit video said that, well, she's the wife of a warrior. And and that fighting is in the DNA. She inherited it by marriage.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're on to politics today. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Dr. Open Secret, the radio professor and the ASA ambassador to the whole world.
Dr. Open Secret, please go ahead.
Yes, I want to first of all quickly congratulate Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo for the successful swearing in, although they later entertained him with the issue of slaps, but I congratulate him for being able to win the governorship seat and the being sworn in. So we hope that he will be able to prove Skep is wrong that as an academia, as a well-read man, he'll be able to make a difference. Because there have been some arguments in some quarters that educated people are the ones that are ruining Nigeria. They are not the professors or the PhD that they don't have Nigeria. They are ruining Nigeria. So I think Professor Abusadi proved to us that professors are better governors. And then now we have Professor Chukwumasoludo again, so I think we'll be able to from Abusadi and make with the academia to be proud. Having said that, I also could go to the judgment that came from the Supreme Court or so about a party executive. So I think our deputy governor and the governor in the state now, I hope they are aware that judgment now, that this issue of we came with our foot soldiers, we did this one, we did not do this one. If somebody gets employed into independent radio and television today as a global station, the person will stay on the queue and he need to learn on his job. So there are people that will train them. That is why sometimes I look at the presenters in ITV, their voices are almost similar, depending on who trained them on the job. So therefore, they have to swallow their ego and stay on the queue. Because the PDP, for example, have been fair and generous enough to have allowed them to come to the party, give them tickets, step down. And they got the governorship position, deputy SFG. And if you check all the commissioners that have been shared now, it's from the fugitives that came with him that he has been sharing it to. So they should suspend that and follow that coordinate. And they are very free. The case of Ebonyi State is still fresh in our mind. And if you become, well, you will leave our governorship ticket for us, seat for us. So that is all I can say this morning, especially our crisis rocking our party in Edo State.
All right. Dr. let me thank you there. We are pressed for time. Thank you.
The menace we suffered in the other party. So it should be a gentleman and allow party people to run the party.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Opo Secret. Hello, Kola. Good morning. What's your name? Yes, good morning.
Hello, my pastor, my bishop.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, this Pastor Isaac, pastor of the whole world.
Okay, Pastor Isaac, go ahead.
Yeah, Obiano wife and Otukuwa apologize on their behalf. Because the way they placed it was very wrong of them. Nobody expected like that. But let us forgive them. But I don't really know where you see people you brought to studio. And then Jesus Christ, they always see parable. When they say many stand on the eye, what do they mean? My bishop, what do they mean? I don't understand, but you reacted, I think you understand. People you brought to studio should be able to bring it to the level of many of us who are not highly educated.
Okay.
So thank you. God bless you, sir. I appreciate it. But others are calling.
Thank you, Pastor Isaac. Thank you. Our studio line is still open. Good morning. What's your name, caller? Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, good morning. My name is Yancy. I'm calling from Ovia North East.
From Ovia North East. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm very glad about the judgment of the Supreme Court. I think
the High Court, the Federal High Court.
In Edo State as our party to the because those people who carry are there on the governor and they are actually the party, I think they should draw their attention to that. Party constitution must be observed. Party and the governance are not made of the same constitution. Let them remember that PDP is a party that has and PDP will also apart because of the PDP. God bless you all.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Tell us your name.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Julius.
Julius, go ahead.
Thank you, Pastor. I appreciate you. I appreciate your family.
Thank you.
I want to speak on the issue of Edo PDP. I'm not a politician, but I will actually be following trends.
Okay.
You see, I want to address my point with the issue of autumn. You know, autumn came from APC to PDP, and likewise Tambowa.
Yes.
But we never had the issue of I want to harmonize, I want to bring my followers, I want to do that. In the first place, harmonization is of constitution in PDP. It's not a PDP word. Autumn, what Autumn did, Autumn had a round table meeting, told the executive, I'm interested in position A, position B. You can do trade. I will offer you a commissioner, I will offer you this, but if you are willing to resign, I will offer you this. This was harmoniously done without a dissenting voice. But the situation where you have a party chairman that went around the 18 local government, just the way the governor campaigned around the 18 local government to seek the mandate of the people. The party executive sought the mandate of their party members, but they were duly elected for a tenure. So you cannot just come from nowhere and say, I'm dissolving you. I want to bring in my full soldiers. No, that is undemocratic, dictatorial. So our governor, like I have said, I deposited in one of my comments on social media that I will recommend a human resources management course for our governor. He needs to manage human resources. We cannot continue to say I'm a leader. No. Manage people. You lose some.
Okay, don't you think he already has enough of that skills of human resource management with the number of people that are under the employ of the state?
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, we're just on the verge of capping it up quickly. You want to add a comment to some of that video slapping that we saw?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, go on.
The first thing, as I've said, is that the government should sanction them, and they should come out and tender a reserve apology to the women folk, to the immediate past governor of Anambra State, to the new governor of Anambra State, to Anambra people, and to the people of Nigeria, because it's a worldwide thing and the thing was being
televised. It's viral, of course it's viral.
So that is on one part.
Yeah.
On the other part, as my co-discusser was saying just now, women the other day, I saw them protesting in different parts of the country, saying that 25% affirmation, blah, 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 blah. I'm also expecting them to come outside now to condemn this act and to recommend punishment for these people.
All right, final word, Dr. Lugard.
Yeah, my final word here will be Edo State PDP, they should put their house in order. Mr. Governor, please allow the court judgment to sail through.
Okay, let's take hello, caller. Yeah, good morning, caller. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Advocate. I'm calling from Ecuador.
Yes, Advocate. It's been a while. Go ahead.
Yes, my concern is still on Edo PDP, because I believe that there is need for PDP to be at peace so that 2023 can be won.
Okay.
Because that's my interest. And besides, if there should be harmonization, is the governor also fair in area of government appointment? Has he shared his government position well too, between the old and the new? This is an issue. Thank you.
All right, Advocate, thank you. Our last caller for today brings us to the end of our package for this week on Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. I want to say special thanks to our panelist, Dr. Lugard Sado. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And Nabil Obagado, thank you for coming, even at such a very short notice. Thank you very much. And to all our viewers and listeners across the world, we appreciate you. We cherish you for being a part of the program. Come Monday, 28th of March, it will be a big celebration here. ITV is 25 and the broadcast industry has been 25. It's been a journey, interesting journey of excellence in broadcasting with so many firsts, so many achievements, accolades. You can just go ahead and name it. I want to say big thanks to you. We're celebrating 25. We're also celebrating you, because without you, there can't be ITV. With you behind us doing the things that we are doing, we have the strength, we have the capacity to do more. Have a beautiful weekend, and bye for now.